to begin with. There is no doubt whatsoever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it, and Scrooge's name was considered good for any piece of business he chose to put his hand to. Marley was as dead as a doornail. Now, I don't know what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I would think a coffin nail would be a deader piece of iron, but far be it from me to change the expression, or the country's done for. So, permit me to repeat, once again, emphatically, that Marley was as dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead? Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he had been partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole friend, and the only man who mourned him, if Scrooge can be said to have mourned at all. And the mention of Marley's funeral brings me back to the point I started from. There is no doubt that Marley was dead. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come of the story I am going to relate. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterwards, above the warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley. The firm was known as Scrooge and Marley. Sometimes people new to the business called Scrooge, Scrooge, and sometimes Marley, but he answered to both names. It was all the same to him. It was bitterly cold, and the fog was thick as pea soup on that Christmas Eve of 1843, and Scrooge stood busy in his counting house, with his clerk nearby, trying to warm himself at a candle. Having little of an imagination, he failed.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle.
What?
I said, a Merry Christmas. God save you.
Ah, humbug.
Christmas? A humbug, Uncle. Surely you don't mean that.
Of course I mean. Merry Christmas indeed. What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
What reason have you to be dismal? You're rich enough.
Ah, away with Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older, not now richer. Why? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips ought to be boiled in his own pudding and buried. A stake of holly to his heart. He should.
Uncle!
Now, keep Christmas in your way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. A lot of good it's done you.
There are a great deal of things that have benefited me, though I show no profit from them. Christmas among the rest. And so, though it has never put a scrap of silver or gold in my pocket, I say it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
Another stab on you and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your position. Cratchit.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
I'll see myself in hell first.
But why, Uncle?
Why? Why? Let me ask you a question. Why did you get married recently?
Because I fell in love, of course.
Love. You fell in love. Good afternoon.
But you never came to my house before I was married. Why use it as a reason not to come now?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry to find you so resolute, Uncle. We've never had a quarrel, you and I. But I came here with Christmas wishes. And I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last, so Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
And Merry Christmas to you, Bob Cratchit.
Thank you, sir. A Merry Christmas to you.
There's another fellow, my clerk, with 15 shillings a week and a wife and family to care for, talking about a Merry Christmas. I'll retire to bed now.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Marley's dead. He died 7 years ago this very night.
I'm quite sorry to hear it, but I'm sure his generosity is well represented by his surviving partner. At this festive season of the year, it is more than slightly desirable that we make some slight provision for the poor and needy who suffer greatly at present time.
Are there no prisons? Did they disappear?
No, sir, there are still plenty of prisons.
And the workhouses for the poor? Still in operation, I assume?
Yes, sir. Still, I wish I could say they were not.
And the treadmill and poor law still in full vigor then?
Yes, very busy, sir.
Excellent. I was afraid from what you'd said something had stopped them in their usual course. I'm very glad to hear it.
Given that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer to the multitude, a few of us are trying to provide us a fund for the poor and needy to buy some meat and drink and some means of home. What shall I put you down for?
No.
You wish to be anonymous, sir?
I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I am taxed for the institutions I've mentioned. Those who are badly off must go there.
But many can't go there, and many would much rather die.
Well, if they'd rather die, perhaps we should go ahead and do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, I don't know anything about it.
You could know it, sir.
It's none of my business. I have enough of my own business to interfere with others. Mine occupies me constantly, and I will kindly thank you to leave me to it. Good day.
Father!
Tim, my dear boy,
Father, I've been waiting for you.
let's go by Cornhill and watch the children play. Someday you'll be there too, playing with them.
I hope so. I feel I'm getting stronger every day.
And do you remember what tomorrow is?
Christmas Day!
And I'm to have the whole day off to celebrate with my family.
Hooray for Christmas!
Hooray for Christmas.
He was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, he was. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner, to be sure. Secret, self-contained, and solitary as an oyster. He carried his own low temperature with him everywhere he went. He iced his office in the dog days and didn't thought 1 degree at Christmas. Scrooge always took his melancholy dinner in the same melancholy tavern, and this night was no different. He read all the papers and beguiled the rest of the evening with his banker's book before he took himself home to bed. He lived in chambers which had once belonged to his deceased partner. They were a gloomy suite of rooms. It was old and dreary, for nobody lived in it but Scrooge, the other rooms being all let out as offices. The fog and frost so hung about the black old gateway of the house that it seemed as if the genius of weather sat in mournful meditation upon the threshold. Upon arriving in his chambers, Scrooge took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown, slippers, and his nightcap, sat down before the fire to take his gruel, for he had a cold in his head. It was a very low fire indeed, nothing on such a bitter night. He was obliged to sit close to it and brood over it before he could extract the least sensation of warmth from such a handful of fuel.
Scrooge!
Marley? I won't believe it.
Man of worldly mind, I am Jacob Marley. Do you believe in me or not?
I do, I must, but why have you come to me?
It is required of every man that he should walk among his fellow men, and travel far and wide. And if he does not go forth in life, he is condemned to do so after death. I wear the chains I forged in life. I made them link by link and yard by yard. I girded it of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Oh, woe is me!
Jacob, you were always such a good man of business.
Business? Mankind was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, benevolence were all my business. Oh, why did I walk through crowds of my fellow man with my eyes turned down, and never raise them to that blessed star which led the white man to a poor abode? Were there no poor homes in which its light could have conducted me? Hear me, my time is nearly done.
I will, but don't be hard on me, Jacob.
You will be visited by 3 spirits. Expect the first tonight when the bell tolls 1.
Can't they all come at once and have it over with?
Expect the next on the next night, of the same hour, and the third upon the next when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, and for your sake, care to remember what has passed between us.
And so Scrooge lay in his bed and thought and thought and thought it over and could make nothing of it. The more he thought, the more perplexed he was, and the more he endeavored not to think, the more he thought. Marley's spirit bothered him exceedingly. Every time he resolved within himself that it was all a dream, his mind flew back again like a strong spring released to its first position and presented the same problem to be worked all through.
Was it a dream then? The hour itself, happiness, good riddance.
Scrooge!
I take it I'm in the presence of the spirit household now.
Yes.
Where are you?
I'm the spirit of Christmas past.
Long past.
No, your past. Walk with me.
Oh, I know this place. I was bred here. I was born here.
Do you remember the way?
Remember it. I can walk it blindfolded. What? Here's Declan Masterson. And George. Hello!
They're not aware of us. These are merely shadows of things that have been. But a solitary child is left alone.
Poor boy. My mother died giving birth to our sister, and father grew morose and seemed to begrudge us both ever after. I wish.
What is it?
No, it's silly. There's a boy outside my door last night singing a Christmas carol. I should like to have been able to give him something. That's all.
I've come to bring you home, dear brother.
Home?
Yes, Father's arranged an apprenticeship for you. You're to be a man and begin your career. You won't have to spend another moment in this dreadful school.
Where am I to be apprenticed?
You'll work for a wonderful man, Mr. Fezziwig. Now come, we mustn't keep the carriage waiting.
Come, Ebenezer. It's time to see another Christmas. Do you remember this place?
Of course. This is where I was apprenticed. Why, here's Fezziwig. Old Fezziwig. That's his heart. Fezziwig. Alive again. And here's George Wilkins. We're the best of friends.
George, Ebenezer, no more work tonight, my boys. It's Christmas Eve. Help me clear all this nonsense away. I say, life is too short for all work and no play. Let's have a celebration.
It's such a small thing to make these people feel so happy.
A small thing.
Well, yes. What did this Fezziwig do? Spend a couple of pounds on a party.
No, it isn't that, Spirit. Why, Mr. Fezziwig, he had the power to make us happy or unhappy. To make our work miserable or pleasant, just the way he looked at us, the way he addressed us. Thousands of such little things add up, you know, until they're worth as much as if they cost a fortune, and...
What is it?
No, it's nothing.
Something.
I would like to be able to say a word to you to my clerk just now. That's it.
Watch.
This was not addressed to Scrooge, or to anyone whom he could see, but it produced an immediate effect. For again, Scrooge saw himself. He was a little older now, a man in the prime of his life. His face had not the rigid and harsh lines of later years, but it had begun to show the signs of care and avarice. There was an eager, greedy, restless motion in the eye which showed the passion that had taken root and where the shadow of the growing tree would fall.
Another idol has displaced me, and if it can make you as happy as I would have tried to, I have no reason to cry.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
Now there's a double standard for you. The world speaks so vehemently against poverty, yet condemns the pursuit of wealth just as harshly.
You fear the world too much, Ebenezer. All your other hopes have merged into the one hope of eluding the disdain of others. I've seen your more nobler virtues fall away one by one, until nothing is left but the master passion, the pursuit of profit. It consumes you.
Even if I'm wiser and more astute, I haven't changed my feelings towards you.
Oh, Ebenezer, our promise to one another was an old one. We made it when we were young and poor and happy to remain so, until we could improve our fortune together through patience and hard work. But you've changed. Tell me, would you still pursue me now, a poor, dowerless girl with nothing to bring to a marriage? Just as I thought. You may be sad now, but you will dismiss the thought of me very soon, as if you were happy to have awakened from a bad dream. May you be happy with the life that you've chosen.
Spirit, show me no more. Why do you enjoy torturing me? Conduct me home. Show me no more.
After this mighty struggle, if that can be called a struggle, Scrooge was conscious of being exhausted and overcome by an irresistible drowsiness, and further, of being in his own bedroom once again. He barely had time to reel to bed before he sank into a deep sleep.
Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge! Well, come here and know me better, man. I am the spirit of Christmas presents. You have never seen the likes of me before, have you?
No, never.
And you've never walked forth with any of my brothers born in these elder years?
I don't think I have. Have you many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
Such a large family to provide for.
Take hold of my robe, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Where are we going?
You will see.
What has got your precious father there? And your brother Tiny Tim? And Martha wasn't late last Christmas by half an hour.
Here I am, Mother.
Oh, Martha, how late you are.
Quite a lot to clean up the milliners last night. Quite a lot to clean up this morning.
Well, never mind that. Sit and warm yourself, dear.
I'll be here any minute. Hide! But where's Martha?
She won't be coming this year for Christmas, I'm afraid.
What? Not coming for Christmas?
Here I am, Father. Yay!
We're finally all here.
And did Tiny Tim behave himself in church today?
He did, as good as gold and better. Somehow he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much, and thinks the strangest things you've ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people saw him in the church, because he was a cripple. And it might be nice for them to remember on Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. But he's growing stronger every day, I just know it.
Martha, come help me with the goose.
Such a goose. Such as we never had before. Such a goose, Mother. Just smell the sage women. Mother outdid herself this year. And we got it for a good price, too. It wasn't expensive at all.
A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us.
God bless us. Everyone.
I didn't know Cratchit had a crippled son.
I wonder why.
Tell me, will the boy live?
I see a vacant seat at this table, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved.
No. Say he'll be spared. That can't be. No.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die. But what difference does it make? If he is to die, then let him die, and thus decrease the surplus population.
Use my own words against me.
Yes, so that in the future, perhaps you will hold your tongue before you discover who and where the surplus population is. Who are you to decide who lives and who dies? It may be that in the eyes of heaven, you are more worthless than millions like this poor man's child.
And now, dear ones, a toast. I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of our feast.
Founder of our feast, indeed. I wish I had him here today. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon and hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day when one drink the health of such an odious, stingy, unfeeling, hard man as Ebenezer Scrooge.
My dear, have a little charity.
Oh, all right, I'll drink his health, but for your sake and the day's sake, but not for his. A long life to him and a very Merry Christmas.
To Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge.
I think it's time for a song.
A Christmas Carol.
What shall we sing?
Hark the herald angels sing.
He said that Christmas was a humbug, and he seemed to believe it too, but he doesn't do any good with his wealth. He doesn't even make himself comfortable. It's of no use to him.
I have no pity for him.
But I do. Who does he hurt by his own ill whims? Himself. Always. I mean to give him the same chance every Christmas. I think I may have cracked the old boy yesterday, if I do say so myself. Here's to Uncle Scrooge.
To Uncle Scrooge.
Normally, I would take offense at such tasteless banter and laughter at my expense. However, given the general gaiety of the situation, and the occasion, I am inclined to overlook it.
That is quite noble.
I take it I'm in presence of Christmas spirit is yet to come. You're about to show me the shadows of things that have not yet happened, but that will. Spirit, I fear you more than any specter I've seen yet. Will you not speak to me? Very well. Lead on then. The night is passing quickly, and it is precious time to me. Why, I know this man, in this place. It's the stock exchange.
I don't know anything about it. Either way, I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Well, what's the matter with him? I thought he never died.
I'm not sure.
Well, it's likely to be a cheap funeral. I don't know anybody who would go. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer?
I'll go if lunch is provided, but I must be fed, for all the trouble it's worth.
It matters to me little either way. I don't wear black gloves, and I never eat lunch. But I'll go if anybody else will. Oh, we're off to business. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Spirit, have these men no sense of decency or decorum? Why am I being shown this?
Well, don't stand there as if we're afraid, woman. We're not going to poke holes into his coats, I suppose.
No, indeed.
And who's our loss for accusing like he's not a dead man, I suppose?
No, indeed.
Let's undo my bundle. I was the first.
Ah, and what do you call these? Bed curtains?
Ah, bed curtains!
You don't mean to say you took them down, rings and all, with him lying there.
And why not? He wasn't apt to catch a cold without them, I dare say.
Ah, and this is how it ends. He scared everyone away when he was alive, to prop us when he was dead. Ha!
Spirit, this is a fearful place. I can think of no reason that you brought me to this godforsaken part of the city, except that the case of this unhappy man might be mine own. Yes, the items they have stolen are similar to mine. I get the point. But surely there's someone who feels some kind of emotion connected with this man's death. Spirit, I ask to see emotion, and you show me only pleasure. Well, I demand to see some form of tenderness connected with the death.
said to them, "Whenever you welcome a little child, you welcome me."
This candlelight, this color hurts my eyes. They are better now. Candlelight makes them weak. I wouldn't want to show weak eyes to your father, not for the world of it. It must be near his time now.
Past it, rather. If we walk him slowly these past few days.
Yes, I've known him to walk with Tiny Tim very fast indeed, him upon his shoulders. But he was very light, and there was no trouble at all. Is that your father now?
I went by there today, which is why I'm late. I wish you could have been there. It would have done you good to see how green it is, but you'll see it often. I promised him I'd walk there every Sunday, to visit him, you see. But guess whom I saw today? Fred Hollowell, Mr. Scrooge's nephew. And this is what he said to me. I am heartily sorry, Mr. Cratchit, heartily sorry. It really seems as though he had known our Tiny Tim and felt with us. And I've got good news for you, Peter.
Is it?
Mr. Hollowell tells me that he's been able to secure an apprenticeship for you. You'll begin at 8 shillings a week starting Tuesday next.
8 shillings a week?
And soon you'll have your own house and a woman to keep up with.
That will happen soon enough. But however and whenever we're parted from one another, I'm sure none of us will ever forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we?
No, never, Father.
And I know it as well, my dears, when we remember him, although he was a little child. We will not harm ourselves.
No, never.
Spirit, something tells me that our parting is at hand. I don't know why or how I know, but I know. Tell me, the man who died, the one who was spoken of, who was he? Spirit, before I draw near to the grave to which you point, answer me this. Are these the shadows of things that will happen, or only that may? The course of a man's life, if persevered in, will determine certain ends. I accept that. But certainly, if they're departed from, the ends must change. Spirit, am I the man who died and no one warned? I am not the man I was. I'm not the man I must have been but for your intervention. Surely something in your nature pities me, intercedes for me. Why show me this if I am past all hope? I will honor Christmas in my heart, and I will try to keep it all the year. I will hear the lessons of the past, I will live in the present, and I will live towards the future. The spirits of all three will strive within me, and I will not shut out the lessons they teach. Just tell me I may wipe away the writing on the stone. What day is it? It's morning. Well, what day? How long was I with the spirits? I don't know. But I'm alive. You're still here. They've not been torn down. I'm here. I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. Happy as an angel. Here is a schoolboy. Hello, boy. What day is it? Don't be afraid, my fellow. What day is it?
What day is it?
Yes, what day is it?
Why, it's Christmas Day.
Christmas Day? Are you sure?
I should say I am.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you know the Pulchers? The one in the next shop, but the one at the corner?
I should hope I do.
Remarkable boy. Wonderful. And do you know if the prize turkey, the big one, still hanging there?
The one as big as me?
Remarkable boy. Pleasure speaking with you. Yes, my buck. The one as big as you.
It's hanging there now.
It is. You must go and buy it. Yes, go buy it at once. In fact, come back with a man and I'll give you a shilling. No, come back with him in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. I will send it to Bob Cratchit. He won't know who sent it. I won't tell him. Mine's as big as Penny Tim. Bigger than Penny. We did it all in one night, Penny. It's past, present, future. And I will not shut up the lessons they taught. Tiny Tim will live. Oh, I know it. Now. Well, Merry Christmas to everyone, and a Happy New Year! Ah, Mr. Jeeves, a good fellow. How are you? I hope you did well yesterday. It was a very good thing to do, a very good thing. Yes, that is me. That is my name. I fear it isn't pleasant to you. Allow me to ask for forgiveness.
Yes, sir.
And will you have the goodness to?
Mr. Scrivener, are you quite serious?
Of course, and not a farthing less. And I guarantee a great many back payments included as well. You have my word.
My dear sir, I don't know what to say to such people.
Please, don't say anything, but come and see me sometime. You will come and see me.
I will.
Thank you. I'm much obliged to you. Thank you 50 times. Bless you, and Merry Christmas.
Would you believe it if I told you that Scrooge went to church that day? He did, and walked about the streets, and watched the people hurrying to and fro, patted children on the head as they passed, looked down into the kitchens of houses, and up to the windows, found that everything could yield him pleasure. He had never dreamed that any walk, that anything at all, could give him so much happiness. In the afternoon, he turned his steps towards his nephew's house.
I love it, Fred. Thank you so much. This is perfect.
I love you, my dear, and my wife shall have the best on Christmas Day.
I love you too, but not just for this.
I know, my dear, I know.
Who could that be?
I don't know. No one's expected at this hour.
Hello, Fred.
Uncle Scrooge!
Yes, it is I, your Uncle Scrooge. I seem to recall an invitation you made to me yesterday to come and dine with you. If, in fact, it is still in force, I should like to accept.
Why, I don't know what to say.
Well, you could say, bah, humbug, and retort, I hardly repent of and shall never use again. Or you could say, come in.
Why, of course, come in, Uncle Scrooge. You have made us both very happy. Oh, may I introduce you to my wife? This is my wife, Janet.
My dear, it is clear to me now why my nephew chose you from among women. You, every bit as lovely as he has told me.
Thank you, Uncle Scrooge. We're very happy to have you.
And, Fred, I am terribly sorry for the things I said about Christmas, and for the poor reception I gave you yesterday, which you did not deserve. Please forgive me. You know, I see the image of my sister in your face. I loved her, you know. And she you.
And she you. And she wished, so she died, that you and I should always be very close.
And so we are. And so we shall be. So we all shall be. What is this?
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Cratchit, you are late.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by coming here at this time of day?
I'm terribly sorry, sir. I'm behind my time.
Step this way, if you please, Cratchit.
It's only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday with my family.
Now, I'm not going to stand for this another second. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Therefore, I'm going to double your salary. Yes, Bob Cratchit, I am doubling your salary. Merry Christmas to you. A merrier Christmas than I've ever given you, many a year. Now, I'm going to assist your family from now on in any way that I can. Tiny Tim, you will walk again. I know it. And now, please, don't say anything. Come with me, and we will discuss the particulars over a bowl of smoking bishop before you so much as dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew. Ever afterward, it was always said, Ebenezer, that he knew how to keep Christmas and keep it well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us and always. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.